Hello.
So last week I got an email saying, oh, you've got a new review on Amazon. And whenever this happens, I gather the family around and it's a big momentous occasion. Anyway, there I am, sitting at the table, all excited, thinking, oh, brilliant. What does it say? What does it say? First of all, 1 star. The title, which it completely threw me this, and I'll tell you about this in a minute. The title says,
Hello. I could eat about 1.5 million of these.
Well, nobody's perfect.
Welcome to the It's a Drama podcast.
My mother thanks you.
If you can't say something nice.
All right, Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up.
hello and welcome to the It's a Drama podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian.
And today we're back to talk to you about, well, just criticising.
Stuff, hey?
Yeah, criticising online reviews. We just wanted to talk to you about something that had happened this week, actually. We are content creators. We have got a YouTube channel. We have got a blog and written a book, and we do this podcast. And so we're always putting ourselves out there online.
Right out there.
Yeah, right out there.
Yep.
And this week, well, we had a bit of a crushing review, didn't we, Brian?
A squishy review, really.
A crushing
you felt a
review.
bit deflated, didn't
I'm
you?
not joking. I read it and I was like on the floor crying. And no, I'm not being sarcastic.
I know, but you were not far off it.
I was.
Yeah.
So we're going to share that with you, what that review was about and where it came in from. And then also, because we're such a positive, uplifting, entertaining couple.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, that's us, isn't it, Brian?
That's us. We are the couple of entrepreneurial people,
Uplifters. We're going to share with you how we got over it, because that's the important part, isn't it? Because let's face it, we're not the first people to get horrible things said about them online.
We won't be the last.
No, we won't. But if you can find a way to push through and put things into perspective, I think it really helps. So how have you been? Oh, go on. What were you going to say?
What I was going to say, was it, because you said that you had a review, a 1-star review, wasn't it? That's what you're saying.
Don't ruin it. Don't say what. Oh,
All
Brian,
right.
we should tell people that we're sitting on our directors' chairs. Our new
Flash these chairs, aren't
our
they?
new directors' chairs that Bri bought. Behind my back. He went and he bought them behind my back, and then actually there's a story behind this. He bought them behind my back online.
I didn't buy them behind your back.
You did. You bought them online behind my back, and then you hid them in the garage under the dog blanket so I wouldn't see them, because you knew I'd go mad because they were $350.
No, because there's a real story behind this. You're talking about your story. Well, there's a real story. We were in the hardware store. I like the hardware store. The hardware store. You have to say.
Do you know what the trouble is with you?
What?
When you're lying, you start talking like
mumbling.
this. You do.
Yeah.
You mumble when you're lying.
Why
so
is it?
For a start, I know you're lying.
We never called it the hardware store when we lived in the UK. But come to America, really said then. Go to New Zealand. The hardware store.
Go away from your microphone if you're going to laugh really loud like that, because that's really just going to blast someone's ear.
Yeah.
No, what it was is I found out later. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're nice chairs and we're sitting on them. They're upright. They're tall director's chairs with canvas backs, those sort that you see.
Yeah, a little footstool on them and things, as in footrest on them. So.
And the other day, I was in the garage just putting my shoes on to go out for a little walk. I was going to say run then, but then I remembered that I'm not a runner. And I saw a big box and it said like, oh, chairs, Brian Deacle, and then our address, and then chairs. And I said, well, hang on a minute, what's this? And I said, oh, you started mumbling, getting all flustered and saying, oh, no, there's some chairs that I'm sending them back because we don't need them anymore. And then,
but do you know what? It's like, I'll rewind the story. We're back in the hardware store, and Liz saw these lovely director's chairs. They were like high ones with black canvas on them and stuff, even though these ones have got white canvas. Anyway, she said, oh, I like them. I said, I can get them cheaper online. I've been looking at those because we could do the podcast on it. She said, just go and get them.
That's a lie.
How is it a lie?
No, hang on.
What?
That is a lie, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Look me in the eye. Look me in the eye and say that I said to you. No,
in the eye.
look me in the eye and say.
Look in my eye. Look in my eye.
Yeah, see, you're just fluffing, Brian.
No, it's not. And that's
are
what
telling
you
lies.
said.
The fact is, I don't mind because I like the chair. So let's not go. Let's move on from the subject.
Yeah.
But don't ever say to me that. Don't try and. Is it called gaslighting? You know, when you try and make someone believe that they've said something and they haven't. I never said those words to you, Brian. Just go and buy them. I never said that. But if you took it upon yourself to go online behind my back, buy the chairs, hide them in the garage.
I didn't hide them in the
garage.
garage.
You did. And hide them in the garage, and then. now we're using
But
them.
listen how fast you're talking now. You talk about me.
Because I'm telling the truth and I have to get it out quick.
Yeah, just in case
because
I
you're
give
gonna
you the truth
gaslight me
back.
again.
Oh, it's not gaslighting.
It is.
Oh, you don't even know what it means.
I do.
No, you don't. I don't even know what it means.
Would
So why
want
do
me
you
to
know
tell
what it... Go on then.
Gaslighting means when you try and make someone believe that they have... Like if I said to you, like if someone said to you, you told me to buy those chairs, Liz.
Yeah.
When I very, very obviously didn't.
But you did.
But
You
I
can
think
remember.
that's gaslighting.
Yeah,
Anyway. Moving on. So lovely
So
chairs.
if you want to know that story, email it Brian It's a Drama. I'll give you the full story about ordering these chairs, cancelling the order, and they still turned up.
Are you a scammer?
No, I'm not a scammer.
Are we sitting on illegal stolen chairs?
Yes, at the moment.
Are we?
I'm going to have to pay for them. Yeah.
Oh, have you paid for them?
No.
Well, how are we going to send them back now we've used them?
Because I wasn't going to use them, and then I decided to do a podcast with Sonny and thought, I know those chairs would be really
I'll tell you
good.
what, we won't be able to send these back now. But anyway, I don't mind
Anyway.
because even though they were a lot of money, they're really comfy.
They
aren't
are. They're
Brian?
hardwood.
I feel
They're really
professional
nice.
in these.
They're nice and high up. Because
They
normally when you
are.
sit down doing the podcast, you feel a little bit low, don't
They're
you?
giving me energy, Brian.
I think they
They're
are,
making me
Liz.
talk faster.
Yeah. How good a purchase was this?
Well done, Brian.
Thanks,
Well done,
Liz.
Mr. Gaslighter.
Yeah.
So what
Gaslighting
we
my
wanted to
arse.
talk to you today is about this review. So we're just going to jump straight in. I think it's important to say as well, because someone said to me the other day, I think I shared this last week. Someone said to me, oh, I can't believe how much you share online. Like you share an awful lot online.
Yeah.
We've got a YouTube channel where we talk about New Zealand. We've got this podcast where we talk about our life as, travelers and entrepreneurs and couple, married and all the rest of it with family and life in New Zealand. And we share a lot of stuff. And
We do.
My book that I wrote, my very first book, where is it? Hang on.
The Travel Bog Diaries.
Yep, the Travel Bog Diaries. I know what it's called, thank you.
But for people...
Here it is, look, the Travel Bog Diaries, a picture of me sitting
What if you're driving in your car?
on the toilet. It is a very, very personal book. And so and it's about traveling the world as a family with no money. I think it's hilarious. I'm biased, but you think it's funny, don't you, Brian?
I did. And I've done the audio version of that book for you, did all the editing and everything. And it was, there's amount of times that we just start laughing and we've got all the outtakes of that. We've got to put into a file one day.
But the fact is, I think that what I'm trying to say, oh God,
steady.
Brian, you sat me on this bloody big high chair
That
too close to
stupid
the
chair,
window.
you just bashed yourself, didn't you?
I think when you put yourself out online, anyone who does this, anyone who puts, even like going on social media, it's putting yourself online, isn't it?
Yeah, it
Anything you
is.
do like that. I think everyone these days does something online. You've got to expect that you're going to get criticism and reviews, bad reviews. But I must admit, I wasn't expecting.
But you hadn't really had one. I think you'd had a 4-star and a 5-star sort of reviews, but you'd never had the 1-star, have you?
So before I go on to read you what this 1-star review was, what it said and what it meant to us and all the drama that went around it, I just want you to know that I have had fantastic, wonderful, heartfelt reviews on the Travel Bog Diaries.
Yeah. They've been brilliant, haven't they, really?
So much so that I thought, right, I'm just, because I don't want you to just think I'm a negative ninny and I'm going on here moaning and I get 1-star review and then I'm crying about it. I just wanted to give a big thank you to all the people that have left such lovely reviews. Chris F said, I caught myself laughing out loud so many times. My wife and I enjoyed reading this book together. That's nice, isn't it?
That's nice, Chris.
Georgie Computy said, had me laughing so hard I'd lose my place on the page. Scott Simpson said, I have eaten up everything from these two that I can, including you in this one. You're getting a bit of the glory.
I like the way that he's eaten me up.
No, but you're getting a bit of the glory for the book.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This book is my favourite. Do yourself a favour, buy it, read it, live it. Thank you, Scott.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
Thank you, that's lovely. But, so last week I got an email saying, oh, you've got a new review on Amazon. And whenever this happens, I gather the family around and it's a big momentous occasion. We all sit around the table.
Let's see where we are on the charts today.
We all sit around the table. I say, right, everyone, get ready. I'm going to read my review. Anyway, not really. But anyway, me and Brian were in the kitchen and Sonny was making his lunch, wasn't he?
He was.
And I said, oh, I've got a new review on Amazon. I'm not joking. That's how excited I get. That's how important it is to me when people...
It's a big effort to write a review, Liz.
Yeah, and it's a big effort to write a book.
It is. I knew that, yeah. But
I thought that's what you're going to say.
No. But what I'm saying is, the effort it takes someone to write a review. So it's nice when you get one.
Anyway, there I am, sitting at the table, all excited, thinking, oh, brilliant. What does it say? What does it say? First of all, 1 star. The title, which it completely threw me this, and I'll tell you about this in a minute. The title says Port Noise Complaint. And I thought, well, that's a bit weird.
Port noise or port noise? Port noise.
Port noise
That's a
complaint.
weird name, isn't it?
And this is what the review said, right? 1 star on my book, The Travel Bug Diaries. It says, I got through the first chapter of Port Noise Complaint before I had to stop reading. I hated it. And I'm saying it like that because he wrote, the person, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, wrote about 1 million exclamation marks after.
Yeah.
Hated it. Not just, I hated it.
Yeah.
It was like this. I hated it. Ah!
You did English literature, didn't you? I didn't know it meant that.
Oh yeah. If you put loads of exclamation marks,
It just
that
means
means
that.
like you're seriously
Yeah.
hating this.
Did he do it in capitals as well?
No.
No.
But anyway, we don't know if it's a man or a woman.
Oh, right.
Then they wrote after, this book reminded me of that.
Brilliant.
Well, it wasn't actually.
Right.
First of all, I thought, I just fell on the floor, cried my eyes out, not really, but felt like doing it.
Yeah.
And then
But
I
you're
said,
not far off dead.
well, I did, Brian, yeah,
know.
because it's gutting.
I know. And you kept talking about it all day.
Well,
Just bringing it up every now and then.
well, I did. No, be kind, Brian.
No,
Doesn't
but
suit you
it's-
to be snarmy.
What does it mean,
Doesn't suit you
snarb?
to be
What's
snarmy.
snarmy mean anyway?
Snarmy means doing what
Snarmy?
you're doing now.
I thought it was snidey that was the word for that.
Well, if you'd done English literature, you'd
Yeah,
know what snarmy
snarmy.
meant, wouldn't you? Only
Okay.
special people know what that
Yeah,
means.
special needs people need that, like me.
So anyway, this person, first of all, what I went and did was I went and looked up what on earth is Port Noise Complaint, right? Port Noise Complaint was a novel that was written in the 1970s by a guy, and it was really full of controversy because what the book was about, the book covered masturbation,
Nice.
mostly about masturbating with pieces of meat.
With pieces of meat
Like
or
liver.
just things as well.
No, it said that because this book was so controversial because
Yeah.
the story was about this guy masturbating with flipping jacking off over some liver.
I don't think he jacked off over some liver, did he? Like, you know,
Why
maybe,
did I use that language?
I don't know because I think
Look
that's.
what these chairs are doing
I know,
to me.
it's just
making me vulgar.
Yeah, it's getting you up there, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh no, but anyway, so I just thought, hang on a minute, how can you compare a book about a woman and her family who travel the world on very little money
With children.
with children?
Yeah.
I don't once mention masturbation in my book,
Well, maybe you should have.
but I just thought, well, that's just odd. That's just odd. So that made me feel a bit better because I thought, oh, maybe they're a bit loopy, you know, maybe they're
Yeah,
just
but I think they are. If
Looney
that's-
Tunes.
Yeah, but there's a difference, isn't there? There's like you.
Are you allowed to say Looney Tunes, Brian?
Yeah, Looney Tunes was, and it was tunes as well, wasn't it? Not tunes.
Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes.
But anyway, what Sonny said, Sonny was in the kitchen at the time, and he said to me, he said, wipe your tears, Mum. Come on,
Yeah.
get up off the floor. It's not that bad. Look at you, covered in dog hairs
Could have
down
been a
there.
worse book
Jump up.
that they were talking about.
He said, why don't you? He said, on Amazon, you can click the person who's reviewed you. He said, just so it settles your mind, click their profile thing and you'll see what else they've reviewed. And I am so glad I did. And I don't mean this to be nasty, and I'm not being like, snidey or anything like that, but I am really. So I went on, I clicked Photo Pixel's review.
Is that the name of the person?
Yes.
How is that a real person? I think, if you're going to write a review, at least put your own name, like Scott Simpson says Scott Simpson, doesn't it? It's, at least, even if it's not called Scott Simpson, at least it looks like you're a real name,
But
not Photo
Listen,
Pixel.
Brian, this is the best bit. This is the best bit. So this person has also bought loads of other stuff off Amazon.
Yeah.
And written loads of reviews, which is great because obviously that's what they like to do is review stuff on Amazon. And a lot of them are 1 star.
Right.
So that made me feel better because I thought, well, at least it's not just me that this person hates. And then when I looked at what they'd been reviewing, well, loads of stuff, candles, packets of meat, like dried food.
There you go.
But
See,
this one
that's
made
the same person,
me
isn't it?
laugh. This one made me laugh the best, Bri. So this person has also bought some VAC Plus toilet bowl cleaners. Right?
VAC Plus
Yeah.
toilet. What is a VAC Plus?
I don't know. You put it down the toilet and it smells nice. It smells of eucalyptus. And this product has got like 11,000 reviews. It's got 4.4 out of 5 reviews. So it's obviously a really good product.
Yeah.
But this person who hated the Travel Bog Diaries has written this. The chlorine gas it gives off is so strong. Loads of exclamation marks.
Yeah.
If I'm working across the hall at home, it burns my eyes.
Oh dear.
I'm sending it back. That's what he said.
What,
or
used?
she said. Eh?
Used.
So it just made me feel, it's like Sunny said, you've got to remember, this isn't a personal attack. You take it personally, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but you do,
Brian?
don't you? But
you really take it personally. Yeah. But it's not a personal attack. It's just someone who is just maybe wanting to say horrible things online. Not thinking that there is, unlike a toilet cleaner factory, there is an actual woman behind this book that has written it, that's spent 2 years writing it, and put it all out there on Amazon for really cheap, I might add.
I know, and you put,
and then go and do that.
You put yourself out there, don't you?
But here's the other thing as well.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to ask you a question in a minute, Brian, about your own experience, because obviously we want to know, because I can see you rubbing your hands there, thoughtful. Mm-hmm. What made me also feel better, right, is I tried to think of the best book that I could, that couldn't get any bad reviews on the internet. Because this is what I do in my spare time, I just try and make myself feel better when people are horrible to me. Not that it's bothering me, of course.
No, not at all.
Water off a duck's back. Oh,
exactly.
bad reviews to me. So I just thought, right, okay, what book, let me find it. I thought, what book can I just find that everyone loves? And you can't get a nicer book, Bri, than Tolkien's The Hobbit.
The Hobbit.
Hey?
Yes.
Is there anything bad that you can think of about The Hobbit?
No masturbation in there, I can believe.
No, it's just, you can't get a nicer book than The Hobbit, can you, Bri? Well,
not unless there's a dwarf or something in there.
Obviously, you can be upset. You can upset in people. Because this is what Cab 98 said.
See, there you go. Shouldn't be allowed to do reviews with a name like that.
This is what Cab 98 said about The Hobbit.
Yeah.
I loved The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings series, so I thought I would enjoy the book as well. Was I ever wrong?
Oh.
I found this book to be exceedingly childish.
Well.
And I was very unimpressed by the writing. He says, and then they go on, and then Cab goes on to say, this says loads more. And he says, anyway, given how inexpensive this book is, maybe you should give it a shot. You may just enjoy it. And if not, give it to the next unintelligent 10-year-old you come across.
Nice.
So I just thought...
Angry.
It made me feel better, Bri.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
You
just think one of the most famous books written, and let's think where we actually... I think I was 14 when we were in English and read The Hobbit.
English or England?
English.
Oh.
English at school, taking English lessons. And, on Fridays we used to, there was a lovely guy, Mr. Turner, just used to read a book, and he read us The Hobbit. Got us into The Hobbit. Brilliant.
What's your point?
Well, we were only 12 or 13 years old.
Well, did you find it childish?
No, I thought it was brilliant because it was fantasy.
But my point is,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if your book is, this is what I was thinking. I was thinking, if someone, I'm not saying I can't take bad reviews, because of course you wouldn't put yourself out there. We get some comments on YouTube that are just, you just think, seriously, are you seriously saying that? Like, we're putting all this content out for free and that's what anyway, that aside, not that it bothers us.
No,
but you
really
wouldn't mind if people gave you constructive criticism, like, oh, there was too much bad language, because I do swear in my book. There was too much bad language in the book.
But who doesn't swear these days?
No,
where are you living?
Lots of people don't. Lots of people don't swear. So I understand that if you come back at me and say, I'm giving this book 1 star because it's, you swear too much. Or I'm giving this book 1 star because I don't like the way you keep, you talk about hormones, or anyway, whatever it is.
Yeah.
You don't mind if it's constructive
about,
but to say I don't like it because it reminds me of a book about a guy masturbating with a piece of liver, that's just like, what?
I know.
What are you on about? Anyway, moving on.
It's a hard one, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
Yes, but obviously it was with a piece of liver, but...
Oh, Brian.
Moving on.
You are here because you are a traveller and you are an adventurer. Regular listeners of this podcast will know that when me and Bri travel the world, we like to use a company called Trusted House Sitters. For those of you who don't know the concept of house sitting, it is where you move into someone else's house while they're away and look after their home and pets as if it's your own. To join Trusted House Sitters, you pay a yearly membership. And then from there on in, all the house sits that you want to apply for around the world are absolutely free. If you're the kind of traveller that likes to take things slow, live like a local. I can't think of a better way to do it than by using trusted house sitters. We are here today with a fantastic discount of 25% off the yearly membership for Trusted House Sitters. To start using Trusted House Sitters right now and make the most of this fantastic discount code, either click the link in the description below or use our special link by going to www.itsadrama.com/house sitters. So head on over there, clicking the link, get your discount, and start your adventures. Okay, happy house sitting, and let's get back on with the show. Oh, Brian.
Moving on.
We're choke now.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So yeah, we're going to be moving on now. You got anything else to say?
Well, you can look at two ways with reviews. I mean, you can leave it out to your other people to, well, they're not, it's not the same. See, a review is not the same as like a comment, but it's a similar thing, isn't it? Like, you can get a nasty comment, but it's the one bad one that really sticks in your mind. And I remember Mo Godet saying, he's the ex-CEO of Google, and his mission in life now is to make a billion people happy, and just bring a bit more of human kindness to everybody and make people work. Because he lost his son when he was about, I think he was about 22 or something like that. Maybe he might have been younger than that, but he was just in the prime of his life, and some medical condition happened, and anyway, so his way of remembering his son is to make everybody happy because he made him so happy, and he gets bad reviews, and his sort of community that follow him all sort of dive in and start saying, hey, don't say things like this, don't say that. And he then has to dive in and go, hey, listen, let's not be horrible back to this person. Because at the end of the day, this person just needs a hug or a bit of loving, So maybe that's just what the problem is, that these people who leave horrible reviews just aren't having a great day. Something like that. Not to make you feel worse, Liz.
I was going to say, now you've well, okay, Brian, thanks very much for that.
That's all right.
Might as well just rewind this whole
thanks,
podcast.
Mo.
Rewind this whole podcast, because now I just sound like I'm being a nasty, bitter old bag.
Yeah, but it's not.
So what you're saying is, when I get a review saying your book is a piece of crap,
Thank
that
you.
reminds me of that. Yeah, I know, but I know what you're saying. I do know. I understand that side. I understand that you don't know what's going on in people's lives, and people write these things because it's their outlet. But I don't know. It's just.
But is it helpful to people just because you're having the toilet cleaner stings your eyes the other side of the hall? Well, close the bloody door in the toilet then.
Have you ever had anyone in real life or online, because you are obviously out there online too, have you ever had anyone come at you and give you a bad review or criticize you, or even better, have they ever done it to your face?
Only when and it's
uncomfortable for you, this,
well,
isn't
it is
it?
a
I
little
can
bit, because
see.
it's these chairs are a bit uncomfy.
Oh my God, just tell me.
Well, it was when I was a kid.
Yes.
So you always go back to your childhood, don't you? Well, it was when I was a kid, and then it happened again in my adult life, and then not that many years ago.
Oh God, what was it?
Well, when I was a kid, I used to hate school. I never really liked school because it just didn't seem, I don't know, just didn't enjoy learning stuff at that age. I just wanted to play. I just have a good time.
As you do when you're a kid.
And, I always struggled with spelling and reading and writing and stuff like that, because it just didn't make sense. It's just like the English language just is crazy at the end of the day. What it was to me at that age, it still is now. Anyway, my first report, one of my reports, I must have been about 7 or 8 years old, just gone from infants up to junior. So I would have been 8, 9, something like that. Just a tiny kid.
Oh, that's tiny.
Well, it is tiny, isn't it?
Christ, how big were you at 9 years old? What, a midget?
Yeah, I was tiny.
Not
Not much bigger than now. I don't think you're allowed to say midget.
Go on, carry on.
Anyway, the report came back from Mrs. Chester, who my teacher was. She was not alive anymore, obviously, because it's a long time ago. And it just said, Brian is slow.
Oh.
Brian is slow.
At what?
I don't know. Reading and writing.
Life?
Yeah, just everything. You're a bit slow, Brian.
Oh.
Thanks. That's a wonderful thing to say about a 9-year-old, isn't it?
Well, first of all,
Who gives a shit how slow a 9-year-old is?
when you were 9, did you read your own report or did your mum and dad tell you that?
No, they told me.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, because they give
It's
you.
a bit harsh.
Yeah, but you had a piece of paper with a little envelope. Here's my report.
What,
you
they
weren't,
read
you weren't
out?
allowed to open it.
And they read out.
No, they said, "Oh, Brian, it's not what you're slow at, Brian."
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, not the brightest one in the class.
Do you think there was an element of truth there, Brian?
There was at the time, yeah, because I hated school. Yeah, staring, looking out the window, thinking I could be
So
playing
Brian
in them
is
trees.
slow. Well, okay,
Anyway,
well-
so go back. Then I was working in France in a place called Chamonix, which is in the Foot de Mont Blanc, and I was renovating a 1700s barn, making a barn conversion out of it. I'd gone over to get some work. The guy who employed me was a Canadian guy. My background trade was more electrical and plumbing and heating, but he was just after help, and especially he was Canadian. He wanted an English-speaking person because he was struggling speaking French himself. Like, he's a bit slow. And anyway, I was doing this barn, and it wasn't my first trade as being a carpenter. And anyway, I was putting a floor down, and then I was bricking up an old cob wall as well because I said I could do that because coming from Cornwall, you could do that sort of thing. And it took me time because I used to want to do a nice job. And then he pulled me up one day and he goes, when I'm leaving you on site? And I went, yeah. And I didn't like to say where he was going, but he was probably going down for a drink somewhere anyway.
Oh, he's an alky.
Well, he was a bit, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But he said, when I come back, you haven't done that much work. And I went, well, I did say to you, this isn't my full-blown trade. So sometimes, you struggle on what step to do next and stuff like that. And he says, if you're a cigarette smoker, Brian, he said, I could understand, going off for a crafty fag, but you're not just quite, you're a bit slow.
Oh, dear.
Second, ting.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's not very nice. And I just thought, you cheeky shit. Anyway, yeah. And I remember leaving and then he phoning me back up when I was in England saying, please come back work for me because you were really good.
Yeah. And the point I think we should make here as well. Well, have you got another? Do you want to add to this?
The last one was my business partner who
It's my wife.
he was a bit of a quick mimic, and this is just about someone that's a reoccurring thing. And how do you keep getting back up from it, And he was a quick mech and always doing jobs as quick as he could, but he used to say to me, "You're not as quick as me, are you? You're not. You can't get the jobs done as quick." And it was just like, you spend half your life going back to your jobs, fixing them. I never, ever go back to my jobs. Literally never, only to go and do a service. It was never any problems, All right, you would get the odd one, but, all I'm saying is 99 out of 100, and maybe you'd get one job you'd have to go back to,
So what you're saying is you are methodical, aren't you?
Yeah, I'd like to do my job properly.
You do.
And maybe that's what the teacher should have figured out, that this guy is going to be so good at what he does. But they couldn't because he wasn't keeping up quick enough with how the other kids were and this, that and the other. And I just think this day and age, really. Yeah.
Do you think there is any element of truth?
Yeah. I'll have come to live with that, Liz.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brian, I personally am glad that you are slow because
Yes.
I would much prefer someone who's slow and steady and just, like you say, you're going to get the job done, you're going to take your time, not just rushing into something. And
You got to remember the Navy SEALs is slow is smooth, smooth is fast. There you go.
I like that.
Do you see that?
Slow
It's either
is
SAS
smooth.
or Navy SEALs. I can't remember who it is.
Slow is smooth and smooth is fast.
Yeah, meaning that, if you can do something slow and smooth, then it's fast because you're not going to make a mistake. There you go.
Yeah, I know.
So when you're rushing, you drop things, you see. And that's what it's all about. And then it end up more haste, less speed, isn't it? That's the old saying.
Do you remember, Bri, when we were? I think I've actually told this story on the podcast before. But we used to have a cafe. We had a cafe in Bath, and it was so busy. Have I told this story?
No,
about,
but
about
I don't
the
know.
beans? Have I said about the beans?
No. Well, yeah. No. We might well have done, but
I'll tell it anyway.
if it's worth telling once.
Well, exactly. Unlike Brian, I'm not slow. I speak very fast. We used to have this cafe in Bath. It was absolutely packed, always busy. We were in the newspaper for being like the best cafe in Bath. We've got that clipping somewhere. We should get that out.
We had it in the toilet for a long time,
Yeah, we
didn't
did.
we? Yeah.
Anyway,
make sure
it
everyone
was
could see it came to the house.
Yeah, it was a very, very busy cafe. And we didn't have kids then. We were in our 30s, or I was in my late 20s. Brian was in his 30s. And we were like, we were on top of our game, weren't we, Brian? We were working together. We were just hip. It I want to say it. We were, weren't we,
We
Brian?
were.
We were cocky.
We were, for once in our life, we were hip.
I know. We
Yeah.
were just there, just living it. It was just brilliant. And just really, I don't know. We were just like on top of our game. Anyway, and we used to serve in the cafe. We used to serve English breakfast, traditional English breakfast. So sausage, egg, beans, bacon, tomatoes.
Yeah, we say baked beans with tomato sauce, if you don't know what baked beans are.
Yeah, baked beans with tomato sauce. And I'll never forget this guy. I mean, no, we never used to get any complaints, did we? Everyone just
not really.
loved
We
the
didn't,
cafe. And we just took it, and we were always getting good reviews in the newspaper, and everyone would come in, oh, hi, Liz and Brian. Oh, yeah, we were just like so hip and cool. And, we were just like lapping it all up. And then one day this guy comes in and he said to Brian, and he was actually English, but he spoke with an American accent, which made him even more annoying because we knew he wasn't American.
Northern England with an American accent.
Yeah.
It's a bit weird.
He just tried to put on this
Lived over
American
there for 6
accent,
months, obviously.
didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
And he turned around one day and he said to Brian, can I just tell you something like this? And Brian walked over and he said, yeah. And he goes, I've been coming in this cafe for 3 years. Every day I order the breakfast and every day the beans are cold.
Gold.
Cold. And Brian goes, so why'd you keep coming back then? And he goes, oh, because it's good food. And that was like, that's the one complaint I can think of, like a face-to-face criticism of...
But I think that was the trouble. He wanted to be American, but he was English through and through, and he just sucked his cold beans up every day.
How rude were we?
I know. Why'd you keep coming back?
Yeah,
That's cocky though, isn't it?
That is cocky.
It's young and cocky.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, even though I would have been 30, I don't know.
Well, you see now, Brian, you wouldn't get away with it.
Yeah.
Because now
Not that young.
they've got TripAdvisor.
Wasn't 9.
Got TripAdvisor now, so you wouldn't get away with it, would
yeah.
you?
Do you know what, though? I don't think he ever really came back.
Oh, no wonder.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Get
come
out,
back
little
either.
American man.
No, he wasn't
Like,
American.
from up north.
Yeah, he wasn't American. That's the annoying thing. He was
No, he
trying
wasn't.
to be American,
I
and
know.
that made it even worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But what
Stuff like
about
that.
you, Liz? Have you ever had, like, not online, but have you had a little criticism about you?
No.
Never? Well, you've been perfect all your life.
No. Oh, no. Of course
Oh, right.
not.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Has something ever stuck with you, like me, slow, Mr. Slow?
Do you know what, Brian? I just want to say before we go any further, I'm going to look you in the eye when I say this.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
like your attitude.
Why not, Liz?
I don't know. You're just giving me this cocky vibes.
I'm remembering of when I was in
I know
the cafe.
but you're not
and it's
there
coming
anymore,
out on my
Brian.
high chair.
You're sitting on your top high
Yeah,
chair.
I'm going to
that
get those little,
you've
little trays
rocked.
on my high chair.
No, I can't. I'm just trying to think because when I was talking about this, I think I get enough of it online to last me a lifetime. I get people telling me on YouTube, shut up, let your husband talk. You like the sound of your own voice too much.
Where's that person live?
I get loads of people saying, just, well, not loads, but I'll tell you what the worst place for me for criticism was. And I loved being there. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Cora?
Yeah. So Cora is a question and answer site. And when I first started getting into my writing again, when we were traveling, I was writing a lot of articles on there. And I've got to say, the majority, like 90% of the people on there are just really, really kind and lovely. Yeah. Followed me, still with me. A lot of people that are on my newsletter came from Cora.
Cool. Yeah. You had millions of views on that, didn't you?
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah.
didn't you?
I wrote one post.
You were number one in travel answers, weren't you, at one time?
I'll link
in
to
the
it actually
world.
in the description. I wrote a post on India about how India was misrepresented, like, for when you visit India, because India is the most beautiful country and the Indian people are the most beautiful people. When you go there, it's just nothing. Like when people tell you, oh, don't go to India because it's really
noisy, it's dirty.
Yeah, all horrible things. And you hear all this stuff. So I wrote a big post about why India is not the way it is perceived to be, what people make it out to be. And it went viral and it had tens, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of views.
It was going up thousands of views an hour watching it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Which is
I think
amazing.
It went up, anyway, it got lots and lots of views. And as a result of that, it got lots and lots of criticism, and which you're going to expect. Mm-hmm. But some of that criticism was just, it was cutting. It was just really, really nasty. Like, because I always put my photo. Oh, that was it. I always put my photo on the post as well. And people were like saying, oh, look, you know, she looks like that football player. Do you remember? They were saying, oh, her nose looks like that guy from this football player. And they were just being really, really personal.
Jeez.
Yeah, well, you know that because I would
know,
tell
but
you.
I can't remember that.
I know you
it's
can't,
like
I
6
can.
years ago, isn't it? What we're talking about.
Oh,
yeah.
no. Some of the stuff they wrote was just really, really personal. And as a result, which is a shame, I came off. Because back then I'd only just started and I didn't want to be criticised. You know, I hated it. It was just like, oh my God, this is awful. And don't get me wrong, it's still not nice. It's horrible to be criticised or people come at you online or whatever. It's horrendous. But I've come to realise now that, like you just said about Mo, you know, going, it's not about you, it's about the other person, because it's something that's going on in their life that they're unhappy about, that they have to vent. And guess what? You're at the end of their finger on the keyboard. So let's press send. And it's just, it's
that keyboard warrior type thing, isn't it? And it's a shame because we need keyboard warriors out there, but good ones. You know, not people who are going to be completely negative all the time.
And talking about good ones, hang on, just pass me where's my little piece of paper? Oh, so.
You don't need
No, I don't need that.
You don't need the iPad, no.
Talking about good reviews, last week we did a podcast about what's in for 2024, and we specifically asked for people to email us or message and just let us know what their ins were. And we had such a great response from that. So see what I mean? It's just,
I know.
It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
And the three that I've chosen to read out are just are the ones that they had a bit of a theme going, actually, these two. This was from Kiwi Jo. So Jo lives in England. She's actually part of our community, our private community. And she just said, thanks guys for another great podcast. It's always good to listen when I'm doing jigsaws on the pewter. She must do jigsaws on the computer.
Oh, right. I didn't know you could do that.
And Jo was saying she's making her way over to New Zealand. She's returning home to New Zealand.
Yep.
And she said, the thing that I want to do is rediscover my voice. My sister and I always sung as kids, whenever we were in the car or on a coach, pretty much all the time. And apparently we've got quite good voices. But when I moved to the UK, I stopped singing. And her husband's family has never heard her sing. She said, we've been married for 32 years and his family has never heard her sing. Mm-hmm. So what her plan is to come back to New Zealand, go and stay with her sister and just start singing again. So really thank you for sharing that with us, Jo. That was absolutely lovely. And you've sent me some gorgeous emails. And the other one was from Lynn in Australia, which, hello, Lynn. He's a big follower of the YouTube channel and again, emails me. But he was saying, he put in quotes, one day I will again. And then he wrote, has to be now. So something that Lynn is going to be doing in 2024 is starting playing in a band again. Oh, right. So he said, I used to play in bands as a keyboard player. Over 12 years ago, I stepped onto the stage. And he says that one night he was on Facebook looking at all the gigs that he used to do with all the people that he used to gig with. And before he knew it, he'd sent out a message saying, I'm available and I want to, I want to play in the band. So he just said, did I just do that? But so he wants to get back into band
that's
playing.
Great, isn't it?
2024.
Good on you, Lynn.
And then I had to read this one out because this is from YouTube. This is a comment from YouTube. It's from Susan Hammond. And Susan comments on everything we do. So big shout out to you, my love. Thank you so much for just always being there. And you said, happy 2024 to you both. It was great to listen to your podcast. I think it's wonderful that your kids are following their dreams. You must be so proud of them both. And then, do you remember how we talked about charging Sunny rent?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
She said, and this made me laugh, this, Bri. She said, my kids all wanted to pay board when they started work, not like ours.
Yeah, they can pay me if they want.
We only took it if we knew they could afford it, and they often got it back anyway.
Yeah, as they do.
And do you know what that made me think of?
What?
I was going to share this with you. I forgot to tell you. No, I forgot to tell you last week. Because this is the funny thing. Don't tell anyone this.
Okay.
And hopefully Sonny won't listen. But
no, he won't hear this bit.
At Christmas when Sonny said to you, I haven't got any money for Christmas presents. Can you give me a sub until I get paid?
Yeah.
And he lent some money off you, didn't he, Bri? And then he went and bought our Christmas presents.
Yeah.
And when I was opening the Christmas presents, is he still in? Has he gone?
No, he's gone. His car's gone.
All right. When I was opening the Christmas presents, all I could think of was, I've paid for this. Do you like those tracksuit bottoms, Bri? I paid for that.
Do you know what was worse?
What?
Is the short? He bought me a pair of Nike shorts, which was lovely. The thought was lovely, but they were too big.
Well, that's because you're
And
too
I've actually given them to Sonny now.
I
Because they
know.
fit him and they don't fit me.
I saw that you'd done
I
that.
know.
And then I thought, so we've paid for the shorts that you bought Brian, but now Brian has given them back to
I'm
you.
sure he knew what he was doing.
Yeah. So we've actually bought him a pair of shorts.
Because he said to me not so long ago, "Hey, Dad, have you got a pair of suit trousers that I can wear?" And I'm like, "I'm a 32 waist," and he's about 34, 30, probably 36 even, because he's about 6 inches taller than me. And I just went, "I don't think they'll fit you, Sonny." "Oh, give him a go." And they didn't fit him, so he knew that I've only got a small waist,
So Susan, I liked that comment because I just thought I know exactly where you're coming from there.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
So that's all we've got. That's what
Thanks,
we've
Susan.
got on just online criticism. It's a bit of a behind the scenes look, this, because it was just sharing, what had actually happened with that. So we hope you enjoyed that. And also, if there is someone out there that's listening that is also a content creator or does a load of stuff online, and you want to be able to relate and share a story, we'll be happily read it out for you on the next podcast. So
Yeah, for sure.
or even just to let us know, because it's nice to know, isn't it, that getting criticism is not nice, but do you know what? Don't take it personally. That's all I can say, is just don't take it personally. Just move on.
And that's the big thing. It's easier said than done. It really, really is. It's like moving on when something keeps nagging in the background. Yes, you can be mindful, and you can be the what's it called when you compartmentalize something, and that can work for you if that's or you can have the Eastern or Western philosophy on how you do things. But at the end of the day, it's just like, hey, yeah. Take it with a pinch of salt and just think, move on.
So from Liz and Brian on their high chairs that Brian has craftily bought, I would
if you want to hear this story, email me at Brian@itsadrama and I'll tell you all about it.
And don't forget to email me at Liz@itsadrama and just tell me about your partner that's also buying things behind your back that you don't know about.
Yeah, and head on over to thetravelbogdiaries.com/reviews, leave a review, and you'll get to see those reviews that Liz is talking about as well.
That is a really, really good point. Thank you for mentioning
There you
that.
go.
Because if you do leave a review, then it will push Pixel, or whatever the person's called, down.
Yeah, he's top of the list at the moment.
He is.
Because it's the latest
there.
one.
It's sitting there at the top. So like Bryce said,
Photo Pixel, we know where you live.
Like Bryce said, go to
We can smell it.
Go to the travelbog. Go to the travelbogdiaries.com/review, and if you could just leave a review on Amazon, that would be absolutely lovely. I mean, email me and I'll send you a copy of the book for free. Honestly, it's just
We'll pay for reviews like everybody else does.
So until next time, stay safe, stay happy, and thank you for being you. We will speak to you next week.
Yeah, so kia kaha, stay strong, kia u, stay true, and that's true to yourself. And leave us a review on Apple as well for this bloody podcast, otherwise we might not be here one day.
Oh, God.
Leave it on a high. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us today on this episode. We have loved having you here. If you haven't yet bought a copy of my brand new book, The Travel Bog Diaries, then I would love you to go and grab yourself a copy. If you are a traveller, if you are a parent, if you are an aunt or an uncle, or someone who just loves a really good laugh, then you will love the stories that are within my book. It's all about traveling the world as a family with very little money, far too many hormones, and very, very little patience. It's honest, it's real, and it's such a good laugh. You will absolutely love it. You can grab a copy of that book right now by going to www.thetravelbogdiaries.com. Go over to there. The page tells you where you can buy it from all over the world. I really, really appreciate you for doing that. You will love the book. And if you have already bought the Travel Bog Diaries, thank you. I appreciate you. Bri appreciates you. And if you have got time, if you've got a spare 5 minutes and would like to leave me a review, that would mean the world to me. You can do that by going to www.thetravelbogdiaries.com/review. Just hop on there. It literally takes a few minutes, but it means the world to me. So thank you so much. Me and Bri love you. You're fabulous. Have a brilliant week, and I'll speak to you soon.